Welcome back to AnglingBuzz Ice. I'm your host, Jake Wallace, and as you can see, we don't have any ice. But there is good news. I just looked at the 10-day forecast, and we're gonna have highs in the mid-20s with some lows in the single digits at night. So as long as we don't have any wind, we should be making ice soon. Now, last week's video was all about crappies on spoons, but this week we're gonna be taking a look at crappies on plastics. We'll be joining Mike Hehner and Brad Kolstad as they show you how to catch crappies on plastics. Now, in this video, we shot a ton of underwater footage, and what we used to do that is the AquaView HD 10i Pro. It's got an HD underwater camera. It's got a 10-inch LCD screen, so you get a big picture. It's got a light, so you can shoot it in low light situations. It also has HDMI capabilities, so you can hook it up to a TV or an external recording device. If you haven't fished with an underwater camera, you gotta give it a shot. I promise it's gonna make your ice fishing experience so much better. Now, one piece of equipment we use all year on the ice is Humminbird Mega Live. And what we use to power that is the Dakota Lithium 12 volt 23 amp battery. Now this battery is awesome. It can power a device like that all day. You're gonna get a ton of power. It also has a built-in USB port, so if you want to run a GoPro or charge your phone, you can do that out on the ice. You turn it on here, it shows you how much battery life you have, and it's just a great long-lasting lithium battery that's going to give you juice all day out on the ice. Now it's time to get into the action.
Wow. Yeah, they
Way over there now,
literally
yeah.
50 feet in like 30 seconds.
Yeah. What do you think of those, huh?
That is insane.
That's a big school of crappies.
It really is.
So it's basically the end of March. We're gonna call it late ice fishing, but you wouldn't know it by the weather here. We've still got a foot of snow on the ice and 2 feet of ice, and it's just been a really slow coming spring. But I'm up here in northern Minnesota with my good buddy Brad Kolstad, and we're gonna do some later ice crappie fishing. One thing about crappies is, people are used to fishing them in big basins, deep holes, sometimes along weed lines, but this time of the year, a lot of the fish start to move from the basins up to the weed edges or the shallower water. And sometimes when they do that, it depends on whether it's food or whether it's oxygen, but you'll see the fish down only halfway to the bottom. So, right now this school of fish we're looking at here, we're in 12 feet of water, but they're only like 6 feet down. So these are really good fish to target with plastics. And today Brad and I are gonna fish crappies primarily with plastics. They're kind of an overlooked bait for crappies, but they work really good this time of the year. So I think we should just cut a bunch of holes around this zone here. So
yeah, we're seeing a ton of fish.
Then we can just follow the fish with the Mega Live and we can go fish. So let's go cut some holes. Oh, there they are right there behind us. Look at that, 30 to 70 feet of fish. Just crazy. Ooh, there's just sort of moving through to about 5 feet down. Oops, I missed him right away.
Fish on, Mike.
Holy cow, that did not take long, did it?
No. Just being able to find them like that is amazing.
Ooh, not a bad one.
Not too bad. Be like the perfect eater if you were keeping a few.
Here comes one up, here comes one. Come on, you. And there he is, wow. Right under the ice, basically. Oh, this is a little bit better one, I think. About the same as Brad's, I guess. Good crappie though.
Yeah.
Just showed up on the screen and bit 6 feet under with the plastic. Pretty neat. Good start, huh, Brad?
It is.
So that's sort of the beauty of fishing a plastic. You're not worrying about bait, and you're just able to drop it straight down and hang it there, you know, about halfway down in the hole. And these fish are, at this time of the year, are super aggressive, and there's no bait needed. Good one there, bud?
Yeah. A little nicer.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Mike, do you want to eat this one?
No, I'll wait till later
Okay.
to keep a few. They're gone from my hole. You still seeing them, Brad?
Nope, they're gone.
I'm gonna go take
We might have to get the Mega Live fired up and find them again.
Yep, I'm gonna go take a peek at the old screen and see. All right, so yeah, that's where I was, and they're gone. Nope, there's some over by your unit, not many though.
Like here?
Right where Billy is.
Ooh, hole right here, Bill. Just,
Right there, should be stuffed.
oh yeah. Ooh, come on, you.
Just like that, huh? A little better?
Not huge, but a nice crappie for sure. These Jamie XLs are really the ticket, aren't they, Mike?
Yeah, they got that good action to them and the big profile, and it just seems weird, like a bright chartreuse green chartreuse bait, but that works.
Little guy. Man, if you can stay on top of them, they're really going, aren't they?
Yeah, big time. That's the crazy thing about technology. We're blessed now with having this really cool technology, this forward-facing sonar. Right now, Brad and I are using Humminbird's Mega Live. And if we came out here 3-4 years ago before we had this, you know, we'd know this spot here, this has always been a good crappie spot this time of the year. We'd punch a bunch of holes, we'd walk around with our regular 2D sonar, and we would find fish, and we'd probably do quite well. But now, with this advanced technology, it's just crazy. So we're able to sit here, keep this unit right here in the middle of the zone we're fishing. We've got a bunch of holes cut around us, and I can just come up and check and see where they are and go, some over by your unit, not many though. We can just walk around and kind of follow the school without chasing them off. So really fun stuff. And you know, these units are really cool and really precise, and they're, you know, not exactly cheap either. They're, you know, a forward-facing sonar unit is, you know, a good investment for any angler. And we've taken ours now this year and put them in this fish armor box.
The inspiration behind our box has been multiple trial and error, different ways of trying to rig electronic systems. And while everything kind of had a feature that we liked, it just didn't have everything. So we started working on a fully enclosed protective system for these expensive electronics. And what you're looking at here is the new Fish Armor shuttle.
Up here, here comes one, here comes one, here comes one. There we go, Brad. Got a decent one on here. Got a decent one. I'm gonna get this. Well, I think I might. Let's take a peek. Oh yeah, that's a beaut. That's a beaut right there. Look at this guy here. Look at that guy right there. Huh? So I'm gonna have Brad tell a little story about his lake here since he's been here and keeping big fish. He has a, I'm not gonna call him any bad names. I'll just call him the crappie enforcer. So this crappie would not make the cut, so why would that be?
We've been able to get all the neighbors together, and we've made an agreement that anything over 11 goes back. And the size structure we've been able to keep over the last 8 years has been tremendous. It's really, really good.
So I throw this 13 back. He's gonna be a good spawner for another few years and is gonna get bigger. We're gonna let this guy go and get bigger. And here he comes. There he is, little guy, little teeny guy. Gotta have them too. That's actually a good sign. You don't want the lake to just be full of gigantic ones. You need these guys too to bring up the rear. But amazing how little that fish was. Didn't even bat an eye at this giant big bait. So the rod reel I'm using here is kind of a typical panfish rod, but I like using a little bit longer rod for the shallower water fishing with these bigger fish. This is a Croy Custom Ice Pan Dancer, and it's a 32-inch light extra fast, so it's got the good backbone for hook sets and a nice fast tip for detecting bites. The reel is a Daiwa 750, and for line I'm running 3-pound Suffix Ice Magic, and I'm running the tangerine colored line instead of clear, and I decided to try that this year just for visibility, for seeing and detecting bites better. So I'm liking the tangerine colored line. When I'm looking down the hole, the orange line, tangerine line going into the hole, I can see it move better if I've got light bites. And then on the end, I've just got a little 3-pound fluorocarbon leader attached to it. I would say for this kind of fishing, I wouldn't be afraid to go to a little heavier line. You're fishing for probably nicer fish of the year, and they're right under the ice or 3-4 feet under the ice. So when you hook them, they're hot. You don't have that 10 to 15 feet to pull them up, or 30 feet when you're fishing them deeper. You're fishing for hotter fish. You got thick ice and they're fighting, bouncing around under the hole, so a little bit heavier line wouldn't hurt. I got another rod set up here with a spring bobber on, and the only reason I have that one there is sometimes these fish bite super light, and you know, you can't always detect the bite by watching your tip, so the spring bobber will give you a little bit extra more bite detection. So that's what we got going on here. Hit it, there he is, got him. That is so cool. Here we go. Nice crappie, just a good quality crappie right there on a big old chunk of plastic with nothing on it. I'm gonna let this guy go. There we go. This is the bait we're using right now. So that's what's kind of neat about what we're doing right now. So these fish, like, you can just, by watching this screen, you can see there isn't fish coming in and just sitting and staring in a group. It's like 2 come by, 1 comes by, 2 comes by. So what we got is this big giant school of fish out here swimming around, and they're only 4 to 6 feet under the ice. So, you know, once you find them on your forward-facing sonar, the zone there, and you can go sit there and just sort of wait for these fish to pass through, and just sit there and keep that bait hung in their face. And some are going to come by, not even look at your bait, and others are going to come by, come up and grab it. So you just got to wait them out and see. Like right now, here's another one coming through. It's just a steady stream of fish moving, moving, moving. And pretty soon, this whole little group of fish will be 40, 50 feet over there, and we're going to have to get up and move there. And that's what's cool about using the forward-facing sonar. We just have it set up in one spot right there around us, and we can go check it periodically and just swing it around and say, oh, the school's over here now, the school's over here now, and then we've got enough holes cut in the area so we can just go boop, drop down holes and not be cutting holes continuously scaring fish. So kind of a fun way to fish. It's like really, really these fish act totally different right now than they would at early ice or midwinter. They're just moving, moving, moving continuously. All right, when it comes to plastics, it's really personal preference. Brad and I have both been using these Jamie XL bugs from Clam plastics on a tungsten head, but you know, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you feel confident in, but just a bigger profile plastic bait is good. We've got a number of them here. We got with this, you know, Northland makes some cool impulse plastics, pre-rigged ones. These would work good. Northland's got these, also got this new flat fry jig, which is a tungsten head and holds the plastic really well. Rapala has VMC. Rapala has the Mongo heads, which have a big wide gap hook, which is great. They hold the plastic good. And they also have some very interesting plastics. This one happens to be the VMC Nymph jig. And then when it comes to Clam, the Mackie plastics are hard to beat. We've got a bunch of different Mackie plastics here. I've got a bag here with just a whole bunch of variety of plastics to use, just to try out. But so it's personal preference, but just pick something with a big profile that'll catch their attention.
Mike, got a good one.
All right, I'm bringing the stick over to check it. Let's see what you got. Oh man, nice. Nice. Should we put her on the stick?
Yeah, let's see what it measures.
Yeah, 13-ish. That's a good fish.
Yeah.
13-inch crappie. Oh, that's a good way to end the day, huh? That's a good fish, Brad. Well, as is typical with crappies, they move and they move and they move. And we're about 100 yards out from where we started,
Right.
but we found them again and kind of getting towards the end of the day, but good way to end it.
Absolutely.
Man, who doesn't love catching crappies? Now, forward-facing sonar is a huge advantage when it comes to ice angling because you're able to find crappies anywhere you go, especially those moving schools. Next week's video is all about barotrauma. We partnered with the Minnesota DNR to study the effects of barotrauma when catching crappies in deep water. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. The results were surprising. It's time for a refill.